Hey, Black people, you want to talk about building generational wealth again? Let's go. You are in Hillman Talk, spring 2026 semester, and I want to welcome you to Wealth 101. Now, come on in and have a seat because you know you got some learning to do. I'm Professor E, your wealth guru, here to teach everyday Black people how to build generational wealth. Now, you know you got to like and comment and share and save so I stand your algorithm because they want to shadow ban your girl trying to get out this knowledge, okay? And remember, I'm never going to ask you for money or to invest with me or ever DM you, say, hey, how you like the class? Do you think I have time to ask 300,000 people how to do that? No. So if that ever happens, it's a scam. It's fake. Report it, block it. It's a scam. Now, today's topic continues our real estate conversations, okay? You know I believe in real estate. This next strategy is one that I really believe in. This is when you use your equity to acquire your next property. This is where your wealth starts to compound. Not slowly, but strategically. And as your home increases in value, you build equity. And what is equity again? Equity is the difference between what your home is worth and what you owe on that home. And this is important. Equity is just not a number on the paper. You got to start to think of it as a tool. And when it's used correctly, it can become the bridge between your first property and your second property, okay? Now, how do you access that equity? There are actually two primary ways to access a portion of your equity in your home. The first is a cash out refinance, and the second is called a home equity line of credit, a HELOC. And with both of these options, the bank is not just going to give you your full equity, right? But a lot of lenders will allow you to borrow up to 75 or 80% of your home's value minus what you still owe. Now, let me give you an example of that. And I want to walk through this clearly. Let's say you purchased your home for $250,000 and now your home is worth $325,000. Your remaining mortgage balance, let's say, is $200,000. That gives you about $125,000 in total equity, but you don't access the whole 125, okay? If a lender lets you borrow, let's say, up to 80% of that value, 80% of 325,000 is actually 260, but we got to subtract that 200,000. So that means you would be able to access about $60,000. And that $60,000 becomes what I like to call your opportunity fund, okay? Now, how do you use that money to strategically strategically work? This is where discipline matters, because that $60,000 is not just extra money. It's leveraged money. We're going to use it to acquire more assets. So we're going to use it as a down payment on your next investment property. We might need it for some closing costs, light and renovations, all of that. So let's say we're going to use $50,000 as a down payment on a $250,000 rental, okay? That property maybe is going to generate $2,000 a month in rent. And your mortgage, including all of your expenses, total $1,500. Now you created cash flow and another appreciating asset using the equity from your first home for this one. And that is how wealth multiplies. Now, how to do this the right way? I need you to talk to your lender, develop a relationship with the lender, and specifically ask, what is my accessible equity? Not just my total, my accessible equity. I need you to compare a cash out refinance because that gives you a lump sum, but it resets your mortgage. Now, a HELOC gives you more flexibility. You draw the funds as needed, okay? But whatever, I'm going to need you to run these numbers before you borrow. You've got to be comfortable and work backward from the investment. Don't pull the equity without a clear plan for how it will be deployed, because there will be a pitfall. When equity becomes a trap, you're going to spend that money, okay? And let's address that mistake that destroys this strategy. Using equity for consumption is where people go wrong. They pull 40, 50, 60,000, and then they out buying cars, designer purchases, vacations, lifestyle upgrades, or they just paying off regular debt. No. But now you've got a higher mortgage payment and no income producing asset. That return on that money is not leveraged. That's just more debt, and it actually sets you back. Because now your home, the very asset that was supposed to be building your wealth, is being used to fund liabilities. So stop it, okay? We've got to enact this discipline rule. Before you pull that equity out, ask one question. Will this money come back to me with more money attached to it? And if that answer is no, you got your answer, you don't do it. Plus, you don't want me fussing at you, right? Because the goal is not access to money. The goal is multiplication of the money. And let me give you this final thought. Equity is one of the most powerful tools in real estate because it allows you to build wealth without starting over. It allows one property to lead to another, but it requires discipline. You can use that equity to acquire assets, and then you use your assets to create income. You use that income to build more, and that is how you move from one property to a portfolio to a legacy. All right? That is my lesson for today. Thank you for watching Wealth 101.